So one of the questions I got asked a lot from the last post was, how do you slow down before you get to the bottom of the turn? Now, I'm going to use a Hunt 22B nib with some black ash ink from Monteverde. Now, I'm working really large here. This is nearly 2.5 centimeters in height. What I've done is I've split the height into 3. So we have 1/3 here, a middle third here, and a bottom third there. Based on my principle in the manual, I actually split this into sixths. So you have a sixth, a sixth, a sixth, a sixth, a sixth, and a sixth. Now, I come up. I actually start down here on the bottom sixth. I come up. I put the nib. I let the nib drop onto the page at the halfway mark. Then I go up and up and up and over, and it's only really about half of the sixth that you start pressing on, because you can't start pressing here because the turn, you've just not made the turn. So you have to actually go all the way up. So I'm actually using a flatter angle, because if you use a steeper angle, it's better for smaller writing. So the flatter angle will allow the tines to spread more easily without damaging them. So I'm moving up and over and around and under and around. So you're basically closing there. The angle was a little bit too flat. So you're basically closing at the bottom. So this middle bit here, this middle 2/3 bit here, is actually the widest part of the stroke. So it's essentially that with this and with that. So once you've come around that turn, that's when you start applying pressure, and you want to get to the widest bit. You want to be at your maximum spread of the tines at the top of that 2/3 stroke. Now, this varies a little bit for engrosser script, because they have this a cut and a cut. So the cut is on that side and the cut is on this side, so it leans a little bit more. I think, if you lean the nib, I mean, I'm doing it really large here. If you lean the nib, let's just take this down to 4. If you lean the nib, you get a flat edge here and a flat edge here, and you get a sort of curved parallelogram where the curve is here and the curve is there, because they lift at the top here and they lift at the bottom. What that does is it closes the nib. If you're writing copperplate script, when you come around that corner, I'm still actually writing a lot larger than the nib wants to work with. When you come around that corner, because the nib is being used, you're not starting from a stationary point of view. Whereas with something like engrossers or engravers, you are starting from a stationary point of view, because you've lifted from a hairline, you've closed, you've lifted, you've left a little gap, and you're then putting the nib down. So it's the movement and the rhythm help to dictate this particular stroke that you find in engravers and engrossers, which you don't really find in English copperplate script. So I'm gonna do a little bit of writing. Direct stroke, little line, press. This is still quite large for this nib. And so I'm aiming for this middle third. and I slow down to accommodate the turn. So I think one of the problems a lot of people have is this little bit. They sort of come over and they take their time and they get too far down to the bottom. So notice if we break this into thirds, we have a really nice solid middle bit and we have a turn. So again, that turn is on that sixth bit at the bottom, which you see here. Now, let's just do that again. And inhale. I'll breathe as well so you can see how the breathing works for this. So we inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Stay on the outside, inhale, exhale. Holding my breath. So one of the other questions I was asked was, when do you actually breathe here? So I don't know if you've noticed that I'm not actually breathing here and here and here and there and there, because you don't go, you're not inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. You're actually inhaling slowly. And once the lungs get to their maximum capacity, they have to switch over to exhale. So this little area here, this turn here, is actually done in that little bit where the lungs are switching over your capacity. So if we do a little bit of writing, I'm gonna write a little bit smaller so that I can breathe along with this, because this is quite a high X height. A little bit of a mistake there. Let's do that A again. So I hope that sort of breathing rhythm helps you to understand quite a lot of things, actually. One of the main things is really that you need to slow down quite a lot more than you probably think you need to when you're writing. Even writing at a smaller scale, which is, I think this is about 4.5 millimeters. So just be really conscious of your breathing, be conscious of the rhythm, and be conscious of the nib. Obviously, you can hear the nib being really loud there. And be conscious of the sixths and the thirds.